There's a song that Talking Heads did about 20 years ago, something like that, maybe 15 years ago, called Once in a Lifetime. Which I wasn't that keen on the song, but it's sort of grown on me as I've heard it over the years. And there's a sort of repeating refrain or theme that runs through it, in which David Byrne sings, you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. You may ask yourself, how did I get here? How did I work this? Who is this beautiful wife? What is this beautiful house? How do I work this? My God, what have I done? And it's a great line. It's just a good idea. It sort of conveys this odd feeling of having woken up or come to consciousness or come to a moment of realization. But that realization isn't in any sort of calm, empty state in which anything can happen. It's the world precedes that moment, and you've come to consciousness in a world that's in a headlong rush somewhere, and it's full of activity and lots of things happening, and you have to try to make sense of it on the hoof, so to speak. There's lots of films about people who suffered amnesia, something like that, or related forms. I'm thinking of Memento, it's not Johnny Depp, who is it? Anyway, the actor. Where he has a similar sort of experience. He keeps forgetting and keeps remembering. So it's all about those moments. Guy, Phoebe, let's go this way, come on. So it's all about those strange moments. And it's like he keeps coming to consciousness. And I'm also thinking of that, it's a neurological condition. I think it's called Korsakoff syndrome. So there's a very famous case, a guy called Clive Waring, who was a musician who suffered some sort of damage to his brain. I can't remember if it was accident or disease, which meant he couldn't lay down any long-term memories, which meant he was constantly working from one moment of short-term memory to the next. Every time his wife left the room, he came back in again 10 seconds later. It was as if he hadn't seen her for years and years. So his whole world was full of, and hers, was full of these endless reunions, endless tearful and joyous reunions. And one of the things that he did was constantly write in a notebook, notating these moments of coming to consciousness. Now I am really awake. Now I am really awake. Sometimes underlining. Now you'd read his previous line and just guess someone else must have written it, or he must have written it in his sleep, as he's feeling. So when he wanted to stress that this was the real waking up, he would underline it. Now I am really awake. And then 5 seconds later he'd write it again and have to double underline that one, because everything else had been consigned to the darkness. So this idea that David Byrne had of waking up in a world that precedes us, and which is rushing headlong. Come on, you two. Come on. Phoebe. Come on, leave that dog alone. Come on. Phoebe. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Phoebe. Sorry, my dog's just taking an interest in another dog. Phoebe, come on. Good girl. So, waking up in a world that precedes us. In a sense, we all do that, I think. I think David Byrne really captured that, and Clive Waring and Brad Pitt in Memento really sort of dramatised that moment, which is this feeling that the world precedes us and is on a journey somewhere, and growing up and learning things is all about trying to find a way to put your hands on the controls of the world, even to a small extent, just to try to gain some measure of steering ability over it. I guess I'm talking about conscious awareness or something, to the extent that that's different from other forms of awareness. All the cells in our body, of course, or not all the cells, but all the atoms in our body, all the materials our body is made of, precede our existence. but from what I understand, most of them go back to the beginning of the birth of the solar system, and the sun exploded or did whatever it did, created the fusion reaction and produced the various carbon and other atoms which eventually coagulated into the planets, and now which are forming large parts of our bodies. So clearly parts of us are around, and have been around for quite a long time, the ground of our being possibly, and the space we're occupying, in as much as space is an entity at all, has always been there. But this feeling of consciousness, this phenomenal moment of being exactly here, precisely now, that comes and goes with temporarily being human and alive and awake. Yeah. So I think we have sort of found ourselves behind the wheel of a large automobile. And we are thinking, how do I work this? My God, what have I done? It's a beautiful day today.